So that is things that happen. So really, yeah, you proved that the maps don't work, and a lot of people understand that. And I even saw people who support the globe model say, wait till you get to the south because it just can't work on the flat Earth, and that proves that the Earth is not flat. But that doesn't prove that the Earth is flat. Because if you can't find curve, that proves that the Earth is not flat. And I'd still like to see anybody prove it otherwise. So that's just some things I wanted to share about the Antarctic.
Well, as I have suggested,
the maps that exist,
the world that we live in cannot be explained with any one particular model.
I would like to see, just like everybody else, a map that does work.
It's flat on the ground. You look up at the sky, you see curved stars. Our observation of the stars has to be off of a globe, Earth. You go up to the stars and look back down at the Earth is flat. It's not curved when you look at the Earth. When you look at the sky, the Earth has to be round. What I'm saying is it's a damn paradox. We live in a paradox. And you're never going to find a solution because there is no solution because it's a creation of God that could not actually exist. It's a fucking Escher cube. We live in a damn Escher cube. A two-dimensional drawing of a three-dimensional figure which cannot actually exist in 3 dimensions. Okay? Is that a cube? Is that cube flat or is it a cube? It's a picture. It's a drawing. It is what it is. It's a paradox. And that's what I'm saying we live in. You're not going to be able to map it out because it's not possible. And I say map it out, I mean the entire cosmos. It depends on your perspective, which means by definition that it's relative. And I think that if that's the case, that may be the best proof of there being a God being who has created all this, because it's not Legos stacked up. It's not building blocks assembled. It is something that cannot actually exist, that exists. You can, let me tell you, you can make an impossible figure out of light. Because you can show it. Like I say, you can draw it on a piece of paper. You can draw an impossible figure or an impossible image. But then you can't build it. You can't actually make an Escher cube. You know what I mean? I have an Escher drawing on my door. It's been there for years. It's probably been there, I don't know, 8 or 10 years or something. It's called Folded Chess. And it's a simultaneous view of a chessboard with chess pieces on both the top and the bottom at the same time. It's a paradox. It's flat. So there you go. And it's got all the clouds around it. It actually has a ladder going from one side to the other. Escher was a cool dude. I liked his perspectives on things. He was always drawing these impossible scenarios. Do you have artists that make self-portraits? Escher drew a picture of a guy looking into a mirror ball, and he drew the reflection of the guys in the fucking ball mirror. Like he's looking at himself in the ball, and he drew the reflection curved around it. The very underrated artist, I think. You hardly ever hear about it. Cause goddamn it, we got Picasso. We'll sell his paintings for millions of dollars. Sure. Unbelievable. Anyway, you can look up Escher. He has all kinds of cool pictures. I wish people would, because it would help expand their fucking mind a little bit. Just even go through those. I got a book right here. I got a book of Escher drawings is actually holding up, and my computer is sitting on an Escher book right now. Because it was too big to fit on my damn shelf, so I just had to put it down somewhere. Anyway. We live in an artificial construct, but it's not built off of, it's not built with like machinery and fucking, you know, that's just three-dimensional concrete thinking. And we live in a construct of light, a display, an image. And it can be whatever the hell the designer wants it to be. It doesn't actually have to work. It doesn't have to make sense. It can be anything. And that's what he showed me, basically, in an abstract kind of a way. When I asked him to show me what the workings are, there are no workings. It's just whatever it is. If you have an animation, if you have, you guys have all these animations. You show the moon and the sun and the earth spinning around in various ways, explaining different models. I'm watching the animation. Am I watching the moon spin around? Am I watching the sun, the earth spin around? What am I watching? I'm watching a video on a fucking 2D screen. I'm watching a display. And you have to imagine a multi-dimensional screen with an image being cast into it, broadcast into this screen of reality. And it generates this image that we call reality. It's like a screen. I think of it, using their term, as space-time. The dimensions in which it can exist, you know, the coordinate system, height, width, and depth, and time. And you create that matrix construct, and inside that you generate images, multi-dimensional, three-dimensional images, which appear as matter because of the interplay of frequency. It's just very dense, very low frequency. Or actually, I don't know, maybe the opposite. Maybe it's very, very high frequency. Who knows? I'm just saying it's a projection. On the basic level, it's a multi-dimensional projection that we are a part of. We are made of that light. We are part of the fucking... Well, see, like the universe is the screen. And reality is the image on the screen. We are part of that image, and we're trying to figure out what the design is. The design is the screen. And none of the images are going to tell you. Nothing you can see is going to show you the actual construct of reality because it's projected on the screen. Doesn't matter what the image is. Anyhow, that's what I'm saying. So it's a paradox. I asked him to show me how the sun and the moon work, what are the actual movements, and he showed me nothing. And then told me in a sentence that it is whatever he wants it to be at the time. There's no mechanical working of it. And then, of course, that made sense. Well, it's all a projection. It can be whatever. So what that ends up meaning is that all of this searching for the actual mechanical structure of things is beside the point, because all you're ever going to do at best is find part of the design. You can map out how long it takes this planets to orbit. I mean, they have the scientific numbers for what they were supposed to go around the sun. But the ancient world had already mapped out how long it took for them to go around the Earth. And so if you look it up, if you look up the orbits of the planets, you will find there's actually two sets of orbits. There's the orbit that they tell us that the planet goes around the sun, and then there's the orbit that it goes around as seen from Earth. Every planet actually has two orbits. You guys have not talked about that yet. I forget the numbers. You can look them up. It's kind of like a sidereal year and a tropical year. You have two kinds of years. Actually, you have several different kinds of years. They're all basically the same length, varying, within the space of a day. Anyway, so there's relative, and then there's supposed to be actual numbers. The sidereal count for the orbits of the planets are relative to your perspective on the Earth. And if you go out through the orbital paths to each planet, then all of the planets viewed from that location will have a different orbit there as well around the sky of that particular planet. But the actual real orbit is supposed to be the one around the sun. So that's the one that they give you. If you just look up like a chart of the distances of the planets, it'll be from the sun. And it'll tell you how long the year is. And the axial tilt and the length of the day and all that kind of stuff. But if you look up the sidereal orbits, it'll show you the other numbers that they used to use 2,000 years ago. Anyway, so both of those models are running simultaneously, even though there's only one truth. You can't have it both ways, but it appears to be both ways. And so what's the truth about the damn moon, the sun and the moon? There's always going to be anomalies, and you're never going to find the actuality of it. And if I am right, the word from God, Mr. Thrive and Survive, is that there are no workings. There is no mechanical setup. You're not going to be able to chart it out. There's always going to be anomalies, no matter what you say. Because I was thinking of this actually when I was watching this video about the moon. How does the moon come down from the top on one side of the island, and you go to the other side of Hawaii, and it's coming from the side? Because God wanted it to. So they could take pictures of it, and you'll be talking about it right now while I'm watching it. That's why. There's your paradigm shift, is that you can't trust reality to be what you see that it is. I'm talking in terms of light. You can paint a picture with a light that cannot be made of stone, of wood. You can make a picture of a three-dimensional object that cannot actually exist in 3 dimensions, even if the picture of it is 3-dimensional. So then we're trying to explain in concrete terms things that are not concrete. And that's why we have all this trouble. So our cosmological model has to then take into account that things are not actually there. They're not concrete. They don't have to go by physical concrete laws because they're not physical, technically. They're physical in the sense that things are physical, I suppose, maybe. They could be. They don't have to be physical as we are physical here. Remember when I was a kid, I was taught that God created the earth 6,000 years ago with the appearance of age. Everything he created, he did not create babies. He did not create baby dinosaurs or baby animals, baby mammals, baby lions and baby bears. He created adult animals. He did not create Adam as an infant. He created Adam as an adult. So he made the trees. He didn't make young little trees. He made big trees. He made adult trees. He made a mature earth. He didn't make a young earth 6,000 years ago. He gave it the appearance of age. And that goes into context with the universe. Well, you know, why does the universe appear under scientific scrutiny to be 13 billion years old? Well, that's because God made it appear that way when he made it. He made it appear to have that age. Not that it doesn't. You know, how do the stars' light reach us if we haven't been here millions of years? If they're millions of light years away, their light would not have got here yet. Only 6,000 years ago, you know, if God made the earth 6,000 years ago, then we wouldn't even see any stars yet. The light wouldn't get here. It wouldn't be here yet. So they taught me as a kid that, well, God made it with the appearance of age, and he put the light there. He made it as if it had already been there. And so that right there, even when I was a kid, they were telling me that things don't go by physical laws because God can snap his fingers and make it do whatever he wants. If you're thinking in purely concrete terms, then God had to make the universe 13 billion years ago and wait a hell of a long time for us to get here. I don't actually believe in the 6,000 year Earth, but I don't believe in 13 billion years either. That's the other extreme. 6,000 is not long enough to account for all the things that we can see. But the 13 billion is them trying to make it long enough that they can fit in whatever the hell they want to.